Yes, this video is concerning questions I received on my first video stating that we are a soul inhabiting a body and not a body who identifies a soul or who imagines a soul. If someone, this is a question I received, if you want to get the full argument, you want to watch the first videos of the reasons why I made this statement that we are a soul, in fact, inhabiting a body. But here's a question I got. If someone hits a part of their brain or they have like an aneurysm or something like that, and they have a reaction as being not able to having any fear anymore, or not being able to love anymore, or going into a state of depression, does this not discount the idea of a soul? But the fact of the matter is if you look at what a soul is, or it essentially is the chooser. A lot of people make decisions based on how they feel. Not everybody, but if we only made decisions based on how we feel, then society would be much different. People's lives would be much different, because it would be like, I don't feel like getting up today to go to work, but I'm going to get up and I'm going to go to work regardless of that, based on the decision process that you actually go through to do that. So the chooser still remains. If I don't feel loving today, I'm still going to do a loving action. I'm still going to help somebody out because I choose to do that, even though I don't feel that way at all. That will still manifest in this reality. A loving action will still happen, regardless if the person doesn't feel that in their brain anymore. So the second question was, so what happens then if the chooser is taken out of the brain, like you get a lobotomy and you're not able to make decisions anymore? Wouldn't this actually misidentify the chooser, which is another word for the soul? But the fact of the matter is science has never discovered a chooser in the brain. They have only discovered areas of the brain which is utilized all around, which are utilized when making a decision. So essentially the visual cortex is utilized when making a decision. The memory is utilized when making a decision. All these different parts of the brain are utilized when making a decision, but the chooser himself, herself, itself has never been identified. So the question is, utilized by what? What is utilizing the different parts of the brain to make a decision, to come to a conclusion about what to do in a situation? So even with those parts of the brain, it will be harder to make that decision, but the chooser will still remain. It will just not be able to manifest in this physical world as such. So, I mean, similarly, they take brain scans of people's brains. This is an easy way to explain it. And they will tell them, we'll think a thought of love, and then we'll take a brain scan. Think of something you really love, and then we'll take a brain scan. Or think of something you hate, and then we'll take a brain scan. So they take these brain scans, and they show different parts of the brain are activated by thoughts of love or thoughts of hate. So who is the one choosing to either think thoughts of love or think thoughts of hate? The brain, who is utilizing the brain to either think these different things? So a lot of people will say, well, we make decisions based on our own self-gratification. That is why we make decisions. This is another question that I'm actually apprehending, this question that's coming up, so I'm getting ready for it. I don't think anybody's asked it yet. But so why don't we make decisions? The chooser, quote unquote, is only here to gratify the self. But this actually explains the fact of why every spiritual person, every spiritual master, somebody who's true, that truly speaks true life into people that have come down here and have done great things on this earth, have emphasized the fact of being selfless. Because once somebody is selfless and does actions not for their own anything, but only for the love of either God or the love of other people or the love of animals or the love of nature or the love of everything or the love, doing something out of selfless love, then you can identify the true chooser in yourself. Because you realize, wait a second, I didn't make this action just based on my own self-gratification. I made it based on the love I have for another entity. So in doing so, it actually identifies the eternally free chooser who is able to choose to make decisions either based on self-gratification or based on loving other people or based on anything. It actually identifies the eternally free entity which is able to choose their own decisions. And this is why every spiritual guru, master, whatever saintly person that has come here has stressed the fact of being selfless and having selfless love for other people, because then we can identify the chooser within ourselves, and we can identify, hey, wait a second, I'm not this body, but I am an eternally free chooser who is inhabiting this body, or I'm a soul, or I'm a spirit soul, and we're able to identify that, and then naturally that person is extremely happy because they realize they don't die when the body dies. Let's see. Here's another one I got. What about DNA? Science is saying that our behavior patterns or our personalities are a symptom of our DNA. But the fact is science is not saying this, and that discounts the fact that our personalities, when they do test the DNA, is already active. So it could have an effect, our personalities could have an effect on the DNA, and then we actually, in taking the DNA sample, we see that this person is extremely loving, so their DNA shows a different strand of that. Okay, but scientifically, to go even deeper than that, the Human Genome Project by Russian scientists has found that human beings have a set DNA, also followed by a large amount of junk DNA, and that junk DNA is able to be transformed. So, for example, a person who is repeating affirmations to himself all day long can actually change his DNA. This is proven in the Human Genome Project, can actually change his or her DNA. So who is choosing to repeat the affirmations to actually change their DNA? So our personality can be actually changed, and our self can be changed. The self that is identified by science, oh, you're moral because you have this DNA strand, you can actually change that, proven by the Human Genome Project. Okay, here's one more question. What about a coma? What about when somebody's sleeping? Does the chooser still remain? Because if that person is shut off, their body is gone, how is the chooser still available? Well, we have these things called dreams. When you are sleeping, you are in a dream state, and you are having these different experiences. A lot of times the experiences we aren't able to choose because we aren't maybe at that level yet of self-realization to realize we are the chooser in our experiences. We are at that, when you get that level, people talk about these things called lucid dreams. When you have a dream where you are awake in the dream and you know you are asleep, I guess you'd say, and you go, I want to fly right now because I know this is a dream, then you go and you fly. So the chooser decides he wants to fly in this dream, and he goes around and he has this crazy experience. So the chooser still remains, even though he's in a different world, you could say, a non-physical world, in a world of spirit, hence the word inspirational. Inspirational actually stems from the word in spirit, because it comes from non-material. Thoughts are non-material, which is being more and more proven by science, but actually I don't think there is actually any scientific data that actually backs that up 100%. But the more we can understand that thoughts are non-material, then we can understand that it is in spirit where we get our ideas, and we can decide to hold on to thoughts as long as the chooser wants to, different beliefs, habits, different things. So here's a question that I got to sum everything up. How do you know that you are the chooser unless you choose something in which your self-gratification is not making the decision for you? Thank you.